Where are we? Now you can see here there's some dead wood on this vine. So the first thing I do is prune off that dead wood, right? Now I can just tell by looking at it that it's dead, but however, if you're not sure, you take a snip. Yep, that's dead. Yep, that's dead. All right, that's completely dead, so I prune it off. All right, so I get rid of the dead wood first. Here we've got some very twiggy growth. Useless. Get rid of it. All right. You can see here there's some knobbly pieces from previous wood. This is all dead. Right, now I won't use these to cut rid of that. I would use the parrot beaks, or I'd use the saw. Here you can see this is old wood, obviously, and here is last year's wood, the year before's wood, this piece here, and then here and here is last season's wood. So that's 1 year old, this will be 2 year old, this could be 20 years old. Alright, so you can see here's a classic example where it's been pruned back to 2 buds. Here, right? So if we're spur pruning this, again, we would prune back. What we would do is we prune off the second one, right? So we take that away completely, that's gone, and now we prune back to 2 buds, right? Now I'm not going to prune, I'm going to tip that bud off, right? I've taken that off, so that won't work. There's 1 bud, there's 2 buds, I prune back to there.
Why did you take off that other side?
Because it was just a little bit crinkled, and I thought, well, I know that I'll definitely get growth out of these ones. That's nice and healthy bud, you can see that one there. This one was right close to the wood there, so I thought, well, I'd just remove it.
Just brush it off.
Right. This one here, I'm half inclined to get rid of it completely, but if I was going to not, I've got a bud down here and a bud there, and then I would just prune that to there like that. Alright, again up here, I'm going to get rid of this material here. You can see we've got the 2, it's been pruned back to 2 buds, and we've got the new growth. This is last year's wood, and this is last year's wood. This is the second one, so I cut it off completely. Right, it's gone. Now I cut back to 2 buds, 1 bud, 2 buds. Right, and I cut back, and there we have it. Right.
So the one that you removed completely was...
The second bud.
Yes, but it had been the previous year's growth.
No,
was it?
Those 2 were last year's growth.
Yes.
Right.
The one you took off would be the year before that again? The one that you completely removed would have been...
No, that was last year's as well.
All right.
All right. See again here, I'll just go through it again. I'll get rid of this piece of material. Here you can see we've pruned back to 2 buds here.
Yes.
All right, and they've both grown. All right. So to stop the vine growing, you know, off to wherever, we prune this second one off completely.
Right.
All right, because that's already grown several centimetres. Right. If next year we left it and we grew it, you know, so every year it would grow by 4 or 5 centimetres. It would get longer and longer. So to prevent that, we take off that second piece, and we're back to 1 cane, 1 bud, 2 buds, and we prune it there like that. Okay. If we wanted to, this one here, this has died off. For some reason, the second bud hasn't shot, hasn't developed, and we've got one only the 1 cane. Again, we can just prune back to 2.
So which sort of vine is this that we're looking at here? What grape?
That is a very good question. They were a white seeded grape, but I'm not exactly sure. I know that one over there, there is a sultana over there, but these ones here, I'm not exactly sure of their variety.
Geoff, how do you know what you have if you didn't really plant it?
Yeah.
Like we had one and we didn't know what to do, and my husband did whatever pruning he did, but we didn't have any grapes. So how do you know what you have?
Look, that's common, and I get asked that question all the time. what I suggest to people they do is that they half. So the left hand part of the vine, they spur prune everything. So everything's pruned back to 2 buds, right? On the right hand side of the vine, they cane prune it. So they may still do a bit of spur pruning in between, so that you've got new laterals coming on, new wood coming on, or canes coming on for the following season. But principally, the right hand side, you cane prune, and then you treat your vine as you would. Normally, I mean, after pruning, I would spray the vine just to give it a clean up spray, probably just with wettable sulphur, because wettable sulphur will kill off any fungal spore. It'll also kill off any mite. And these tiny little invisible creatures that suck on the wood and the leaf foliage of the plants, they're great spreaders of fungal disease, so they'll spread disease through the vine as they move over the foliage. So the wettable sulphur will burn off the mite, kill off any fungal disease. So normally I do that after spraying, after pruning, and then I'll follow that up by feeding and giving them a good feed, right? And yeah, and then you irrigate accordingly, and by summertime, or maybe you know, midsummer, you'll discover, gee, the right hand side of my vine is covered in grapes and the left hand side's got 1 or 2 bunches, or equally the other way around. You then say, well, now I know that I must cane prune or I must spur prune this vine.